Hello, and welcome to another edition of Card Sharks. I'd like to thank Mr. Bill McD for today's opening poem, and if you'd like to leave an opening poem for the show, leave it in the comment section below. Now, on with today's game. Winners will cheer, give high fives and hugs to the man who gives out the dough, Brandon Scruggs, on Card Sharks.
This is the game where a single turn of the cards can win you up to $32,000 in cash. Now, here's your host, the star of Card Sharks, Brandon Scruggs.
Welcome into another edition of Card Sharks right here at MVP Productions. Glad you could join us here once again. On our last show, we saw a new champion crowned, and he won himself a nice chunk of change to the tune of $18,500 in cash. Please welcome back Mr. Kevin Henry.
Thank you very much.
Glad to have you back here, Kevin. Have you decided what you're going to do with some of your winnings so far?
Down payment on a car.
Yes, it'd be a good time to buy with the big summer sales going on right now.
You know, if I can nail $32,000, I won't need the down payment. Hell, I could probably buy one outright.
True. We'll see what happens if you can get back to the money cards today, but you got some tough competition playing against you. So let's meet your first opponent on today's episode. Coming to us by way of Detroit, Michigan, please welcome in Mr. Aaron Glenn.
Go Aaron! Woo!
Glad to have you.
Michigan well.
Glad to have you aboard here, Aaron. Tell the good folks at home a little bit about yourself, sir.
Well, I'm 36 years old, currently furloughed from my job. Right now, I'm just, taking it easy. They're doing a lot of YouTube work, uploading videos, and still playing fighting games and whatnot.
Fantastic. Well, like I said, hopefully everybody gets a chance to get back to work sooner rather than later. And hopefully we can get back to life being closer to what normal used to be at some point down the road. But you ready to play our game today?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Well, best of luck to you both. As you know, we play a best 2 out of 3 match here on Card Sharks. Winner goes on to the money cards for a chance at $32,000 in cash. That said, let's get started with our first game here with our first question going to our champion, Kevin. Kevin, we asked 100 married men, if you were stranded on a desert island, would you rather be all alone or stranded with your mother-in-law? How many of them said they'd rather be stranded with their mother-in-law?
Boy, you're asking the wrong guy.
Oh my God. Oh jeez.
Well, to put it in context, I've been married twice, and I despise both my mother-in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't want to be caught anywhere with them, near them. As a matter of fact, if they would hand out restraining orders like candy on Halloween, they'd be on each of my mothers-in-law right by gosh now. So with that said, I imagine there's someone out there who is dumb enough to say that just to keep his wife happy. So I've got to give it a number, and it's going to be a low number, and I'm going to say 10.
10 out of 100, you'd say would rather be with their mother-in-law than rather be all alone. Aaron, you think the right answer is higher or lower than 10?
You know what? I think that number might be a little bit higher.
A little bit higher than that. All right. Well, if the answer is higher, you'll be playing your cards first. If not, Kevin will be playing his cards first. And remember, if you get an answer right on the nose this season, it is worth another $1,000 in bonus cash too. The actual number of 100 married men who said they'd rather be stranded on a desert island with their mother-in-law rather than by themselves is 27. It's actually higher.
They are liars.
Maybe the rest of those had their mothers-in-laws with them at the time when we asked them. We don't know.
Who knows?
All right. But, Aaron, you've won the question. That means you're going to get a chance to play your cards first. Let's take a look at your opening base card for this game. Start you with a king.
Oh, good. Let's go lower.
Go lower than the king. It's a 7.
Freeze.
All right, going to freeze there. Just taking the 2-card advantage over Kevin here. As we go into question number 2, this one is for you, Aaron. Aaron, we asked 100 men, have you ever slapped a woman's face to stop her from getting hysterical? How many of 100 men said yes, they have?
I think that's gonna be a low number. I'm gonna say 11.
11 out of 100 said they have. Kevin, higher or lower than 11?
Oh, I can't wait to hear
You
that.
know, the first thing that popped in my mind was a scene from the classic movie Airplane.
Mm-hmm.
There was this woman who was going absolutely hysterical, and all the passengers line up and shake her like, get a hold of yourself, and slap, 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 slap. You remember that one?
I do remember that one.
I love that scene. And of course, you go further back in the line, one person has a baseball bat, another with a pistol. It's hilarious. But 100 men, not 100 married men, just 100 men.
Yeah, 100 men on this.
Well, considering what bad luck I had that last question, I'm going to say it's higher.
I'm going to say higher than that.
I don't agree with it, but I think it's higher.
Well, we shall see. The actual number of men who said they have slapped a woman's face to stop her from getting hysterical is 18. It's just a little bit higher.
There we go.
All right, Kevin, you get to take a look at your first base card of the day. He starts you off with a deuce.
That's not too bad. I mean, it could be better. No, it couldn't. Let's go higher.
Not
I
in this
know.
game, it can't. Higher than the deuce. It's a 6.
Higher.
Going on higher than the 6. It's a jack.
Lower.
Going on lower than the jack. It's a 9.
I would kindly like to freeze.
Okay, freezing right there, needing just
Check
one
it.
more.
Unless you want to tell me what the next card is. I mean, if you want to do that, I'll tell you what the next one's going to be.
Not a chance, sir.
Okay, then I'll just freeze.
Standards and practices, sir. At this point.
Hey, Will's not here.
Doesn't matter. Moral code and game show etiquette says I can't do it. But what I can do is give you another question to answer.
Sure, let's do that.
All right. Well, we asked 100 house husbands on this one.
Oh, boy.
Do you follow any soap operas regularly? How many of 100 house husbands said yes, they do?
If you asked me this question in the 80s, that actually would be a higher number than I think today. Because they always tried to relate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I'm not even sure what soap operas are still on the air today. I mean, I know some of them are over. I know As the World Turns is gone. I think One Life to Live is gone.
General Hospital's still in the air.
General Hospital's still going.
I believe The Bold and the Beautiful's still on.
Yes, and so is Days of Our Lives.
So, house husbands, do they stay caught up on their soap operas? I doubt it. But I got to give a number, and I'll say 30.
Say 30 out of 100 said they follow soap operas regularly. Aaron, higher or lower than 30?
I think that number might be a little lower because I don't think men follow that stuff anymore. So I'll say lower.
I'm going to say lower than 30. Okay, we shall see. The actual number of house husbands who watch their soap operas regularly is 28. Is just a bit lower.
Nice. Good job.
All right, Aaron, you've got control of the cards. You've got that 7, sir. What do you want to do with it?
Get rid of it.
All right, change that 7 with the next card off the top of your deck. That 7 now becomes a queen.
All right, that's better. Lower.
Lower than the queen. It's a 2.
Go higher.
Higher than the deuce. An ace.
Wow.
For game 1 of the match at $500, lower than the ace. It's a 6. He's got it.
Yeah, Aaron.
Nice.
Almost had himself a royal flush there.
Just about. Well done, Aaron. First game of the match is yours. You've got $500. You're ahead 1 game to nothing. Kevin still has a chance to catch up, so let's go ahead and clear off the cards. Deal the next cards off the top of the deck. Chance for Kevin to play catch up here. And we start round 2 with a question to our challenger first this time. Aaron, we asked 100 Catholic priests, do you believe that miracles still happen? How many of 100 Catholic priests said yes, they do feel that miracles still happen?
It's got to be a high number. So I know a lot of priests do believe in miracles and all that. So I'll say 66.
66 out of 100 said they do believe miracles still happen. Kevin, higher or lower than 66?
Higher.
Let's say higher than that. All right, let's see. The actual number of Catholic priests that believe that miracles still happen is 70. It is just a bit higher.
Oh, boo.
Well done. All right, Kevin, take a look at your base card at the start of this game. You need it to play catch up here. Your opening card is a 4.
Hey, I pulled it off twice last week. Who's to say I can't do it again tonight?
That's absolutely true.
With a 4, let's go higher, obviously.
Okay. Higher than the 4. That's a 6.
Oh, goodness. I don't want to make an ass of myself. I'll freeze.
Gonna freeze right there. All right, taking the 2 card
That had to
advantage
stop
over
you
at Aaron here.
before.
Question number 2 now goes to Kevin. Kevin, we've asked 100 senior citizen women, do you still have a piece of your wedding cake? How many of 100 senior citizen women said yes, they do still have a piece of their wedding cake?
I gotta think some of them do because a lot of the older folk are just that, old school. You know, they believe in all those old traditions, which, in my opinion, still should exist today. Unfortunately, that's not the case, considering the world we live in. But how many actually have it? Because you also have to factor in the possibility that they lost it somewhere down the road. So I'm going to lowball this and say 34.
34 out of 100 senior citizen women said they still have a piece of their wedding cake. Aaron, higher or lower than 34?
I think I'll go a little bit lower. Lower.
Lower than that. We shall see. The actual number of senior citizen women who said they still have a piece of their own wedding cake is 18. It is lower.
Didn't go low enough.
All right, Aaron trying to become our new champion here. See how he plays out. Let's start this round with a 5.
Let's go higher.
Okay, higher than a 5. It's a 6.
Aye.
Higher.
Going on higher than the 6. Oh no! Glory. Lose those 2 cards there, giving Kevin a free chance to play off of his 6.
Well, considering it's free, I'll do what I was going to do. Let's go higher.
Higher than the 6. It's a 10.
Freeze.
And a freeze there. Keeping the advantage for yourself. 3 cards to 1 now. Go to question number 3. This one goes back to Aaron. Aaron, we asked 100 women pro wrestlers. During a romantic moment, has a man ever said, "Please stop, you're hurting me"? How many of 100 women pro wrestlers said yes? A man has said, "Please stop, you're hurting me"?
That's kind of hard to imagine.
I think one person who wanted to say that.
I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be a low number.
You sure about that?
I mean, well, okay, I think I'll go in the middle, about 43.
43 out of 100 said their man has said, "Please stop, you're hurting me." Kevin, higher or lower than 43?
Brandon, you found the gap, and I think you already knew that.
Yeah.
Gee.
What the hell do I know about wrestling? Jiminy Christmas. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that question was specifically selected for this show, but 43, how many of the guys said, "Stop, you're hurting me"?
Mm-hmm.
I got to go lower. I just don't see that.
Well, I'm curious to see what the answer to this one is myself. So let's find out.
Oh boy.
The actual number of women pro wrestlers who said, while having a romantic moment, their man has said, "Please stop, you're hurting me," is 41. It is just slightly lower.
Wow. Lower is lower.
I am surprised it was that many. I'm trying to figure out what submission hold they had him in. But that's for another show.
That's a trick question. They're not real men. They're not real men if they're letting women hurt them. Come on,
I'm just saying that's for a whole nother show. We'll get into another time. But right now, Kevin, you've got a 10 to play with.
Change it to an ace, please.
I don't know if I can change it to ace, but I'll change it with the next card off the top of your deck, which is a 3.
And that works. I'll go higher.
Higher than a 3. It's a king.
Now I don't want to see an ace. Lower.
All right, for the game to tie it up, lower than the king. It's a 2. He's got it.
And the salty voodoo did not work on that one.
All right. We are all tied up
He's
here.
back, folks. He is back.
A game apiece for each of them. $500 for each of them. So now it comes down to sudden death tiebreaker. 3 cards, only one question to determine who's going to go on to play the money cards. And the question as always goes to our champion, Kevin.
Oh boy.
Kevin, we asked 100 congressmen. In 10 years from now, are Americans going to have lower than their current standard of living? How many of 100 congressmen said yes, they will have a lower standard of living than they do right now?
Oh, see, that is a tough question because you say 100 congressmen, which is so generalized. You don't know if they're a Democrat. You don't know if they're Republican. You don't know if they're independent. So that's a toughie. How many said that they do expect Americans to be have lower living standards?
Yes.
Well, you got my brain working overload on this one. I'm going to give Aaron a coin toss, 50.
I'm going to say 50 right up the middle there. Aaron,
You
higher or
dirty
lower than
dog,
50?
you.
Yeah, I'm lower.
I'm going to go lower than that.
Yeah.
We shall see. The actual number of congressmen that said
Probably
in 10
higher.
years Americans are going to have a lower standard of living is 61. It's not lower.
Rip.
All right, Kevin, you got control of the board. I'm going to show you each of the base cards, and then it's up to you to decide if you want to play it or if you want to pass it to Aaron. We'll start by showing you Aaron's base card first. It's a 9. Your base card is a 7.
Boy.
The option's yours. Do you want to play it or do you want to pass?
I want to be in charge of my own destiny. I'll play it.
Okay, you got a 7. Would you like to change it?
Please.
All right, a very important change here for you.
Oh, jeez.
Sudden death base card now is a 5.
Higher.
Going on higher than a 5. It's a queen.
Come on, baby. Lower.
For the game and the match, retain the championship. Lower than the queen. It's a 5. He's got it.
3 times in a row I've had to do that.
Well done, sir. Another $500 for you, up to $19,500. Aaron, we thank you for playing. You're going to leave us with $500 card gifts. Thanks for playing. Kevin's done it again. He's going to get another shot at the money cards. We'll do that right after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Card Sharks. Kevin's still our champion now. $19,500 to his credit. And now he's going to get another shot at another $32,000 here in the money card round. Kevin, you know how this works. But for the folks at home who've never seen this, we'll remind them how this works. He starts with $200 of betting money, works his way across the bottom row with 3 cards, trying to earn himself some more money, calling the cards correctly. Once he completes that row, he'll go up to the next row. We'll give him an additional $400 of betting money and 3 more cards. Remember, minimum bets are $50 each until you get all the way up to the big bet card at the top of the board, where you must bet at least half your money. You can also change 1 card on each line with one of the 3 extra cards we deal out on the side of the board. And if you get a perfect double all the way to the top of the board, that is worth $32,000 in cash. Ready to go?
About as ready as I'm going to be, good sir.
All right. Well, best of luck. Let's get right into it. We'll deal out those cards and give you a fresh $200 of betting money. All right. Let's see what you're going to start off with in this round of the money cards. We start you off with a 5.
I'm going to start out bold, 200 higher.
Betting it all on the 5. Let's see. $200 higher than the 5. It's a 7. Up to $400.
Change it with number 1, please.
Okay, changing with card number 1. That 7 is now a 9.
Ugh.
Well, I really wanted to run the board, but I couldn't even with that. Minimum bet, 50 lower.
Okay, $50. Lower than the 9. Oh,
That's okay.
down to king, and you got about $350.
All of it lower, Loch Ness Monster.
All right, $350 lower than the king. Oh, no, it's a king. It's a push.
That's okay.
No win, no loss there in the same card. So we move the king up to the next line. We'll give you another $400 in money, bunny. You have $750 now, and you still have a king.
700 lower.
Big bet on the king. $700 lower than the king. It's a 5. $1,450 now.
All right, change it with number 2, please.
All right.
Oh.
Change here. Changing this 5 here. That 5 now becomes a 10.
Oi.
Doubled up.
5. May I speak?
Sorry.
550 lower, please.
Okay, $550 lower than the 10. That's a 4. $2,000.
Oh, I must have sensed it.
1,500 higher.
Ooh, big bet on the 4. $1,500 higher than the 4. That's a queen. $3,500. When you move that queen up to the big bet line, you have $3,500. You must bet at least $1,750 on this one.
What the hell? All of it lower.
All or nothing here. You're either going to walk with $0 or $7,000. All of it lower than a queen.
You hate to see that.
The ace catches him in the end.
That's okay.
That's a rough one there, sir. Sorry about that. No money for you, the money cards, but you are still our champion, though. You have $19,500 to your credit, and you're going to get another chance to see if you can earn some more playing another game of Card Sharks. And we'll have that game for you right after this. Stay with us, folks. Welcome back to Card Sharks here. Kevin, unfortunately, running into a mistimed ace in the money cards there, costing him potentially a $7,000 payday. But he's still quite happy with himself right now. $19,500 to his credit, and he's ready to take on his next opponent, so let's meet him now. Coming to us by way of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, please welcome in Mr. Cedric Weatherspoon.
Yo, 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 yo.
Sergeant.
Glad
Well,
to
that's
have
up.
you aboard here, Cedric. Tell the good folks on YouTube land a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Cedric Weatherspoon. I am currently a sergeant in the Army, hopefully to become a captain or lieutenant somewhere near future of this year.
Ooh.
And I also sell life insurance on the side for Liberty National. And ladies, if you're out there, I'm single and ready to mingle. Let's get it on.
Yeah, you could slide into his DMs after the show, ladies. Anyway. You ready to go, Cedric?
I'm ready to play. Let's go.
Fantastic. Let's get right into this game of Card Sharks. You guys cut the cards during the commercial, and we started this one off with a question to Kevin. Kevin, we asked 100 mothers with young sons, have you ever reached into a pocket on laundry day only to find something reaching back at you? How many of 100 mothers said yes, they have?
Ooh.
See, I'm going to say again something similar from the first game with regard to matters of old school. These days, the kids don't go outside the way they used to. I'm sure some still do. But back in the day, when you and I were growing up, we went out, we found snakes, put them in our pockets, and if you and I didn't do it, other kids did.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It's just not that way these days. I mean, everyone's so immersed in their technology. If you asked me this question 30 years ago, it would be a higher number. But here in 2020, it's not going to be as high. So I'm going to say, I still believe some kids do it. And I will go with 1/4, 25.
25 out of 100 sit. And they do. Cedric,
Yes.
higher or lower than 25?
I tell you, sometimes you just don't know what kids be doing these days, especially in 2020.
Truth.
You never know. They might have had some pre-chewed gum they accidentally leave in the back pocket. It can happen. It can happen. So, just an unpredictability, I'll say higher.
I'm going to say higher than that. We'll see. Well, the actual number of mothers with young sons who have reached into a pocket on laundry day and found something reaching back at them is 18 is not higher.
Just
As happy as I am for getting that question right, isn't that kind of sad, though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
you lose some of that with the way technology and stuff is advanced today.
Mhm.
But again, that gets off on a whole nother tangent. We'll save for another day. Right now, Kevin, you've got some cards to call, and we're going to start you off with your base card this time of a king.
I like it. Lower.
Lower than
Don't
the
bite me again.
Let's see, lower than the king. It's a 10.
I got a flush working. That's another game. Lower.
Gonna try again, lower than the 10. It's a 9.
Freeze.
Got a freeze right there. All right, freezing with a 3-card advantage over Cedric. As we go into question number 2, this one is for our challenger. All right, Sarge. We asked 100 psychiatrists, is a wife's success in business a threat to their marriage? How many of 100 psychiatrists says a wife's success in business is a threat to their marriage?
It really shouldn't, because if the wife's getting successful in the business, you're getting bankroll. Shoot. And if you're getting so much of bankroll, you could sit on your fat butt and watch TV all day, and just all you got to do is take care of the house chores. You'll be all right. It should be a threat to the marriage. And they said it is or is not.
It is.
I say a low number. I say 28.
20 even?
28, my bad.
28. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, 28 out of 100 said it is a threat to the marriage. Kevin, higher or lower than 28?
You know, I like Cedric. I respect him, but I got to disagree with him on this one for the simple fact that I believe there is an issue with that, and I do believe that it is a threat to marriages, particularly brides with overprotective parents. Get a prenup. Get a prenup. Get a prenup. If either of my 2 wives ever asked me to get a prenup, I never would have married them. Simple as that. Because that's not what marriage should be about. Unfortunately, that is the case more than we care to think about. So with that said, I got to go higher.
I'm going to go higher than that.
Yeah, I don't want to, but I'm going to.
Yep, sounds logical there. We'll see what's here. The actual number of psychiatrists that say a wife's success in a business is a threat to their marriage is 27. It's not higher.
Oh, I was close.
Cedric 1 point away from picking up that $1,000 in bonus cash for getting an exact answer, but he gets control of the cards instead, and he's going to start off this round with a 10.
All right, I'm going to keep that card and go lower.
All right, keep it the 10. Lower than the 10. It's a 4. 10-4.
Higher.
Higher than a 4. Another 10.
I'm going to freeze, just in case. I'm going to freeze.
In there, all right. All tied up. Both players now needing 2 cards apiece. As we go to question number 3 this time, back to our champion, Kevin. Kevin, we asked 100 people, and this is just 100 people in general.
Thank you.
When you look at yourself naked in the mirror, are you disappointed? How many of 100 people said yes, they are disappointed when they look at themselves naked in the mirror?
A lot of people are insecure. There's just no 2 ways about that. These days, there's a lot of insecurity. You know, having been in the single world more than I've been in the married world, I've met all kinds of people who are just that, insecure. Oh, I'm too fat when they're not fat and that sort of thing. I hate that. I would say that is going to be a relatively high number, but I don't know. The same token, there are people who are pretty full of themselves and think they're ripped when in actuality they are not. So now that I say that, I'm going to backtrack what I just said and tilt it just a teeny bit lower. I was going to say 55, now I'll say 45.
All right, 45 out of 100 said
Yeah.
they are disappointed when they look at themselves in the mirror. Cedric, higher or lower than 45?
The way the trends have been going nowadays, and when they see like this chick with that big old booty and those supple bosom, they try to get like that via surgery. And they look themselves in the mirror, and it's like, I'm going to be like that. And that's like most valley girls will be saying. So, for the sake of this question, I'm going to say higher.
I'm going to say higher. All right, we shall see. The actual number of people who, when they look in the mirror, they consider themselves disappointed is 38. It's not higher.
Dang.
We're getting pretty good with our guesses here.
Yeah, you guys are well within the ballparks on your choices here. Let's see what happens. Kevin, you've got control. You've got that 9.
If you wouldn't mind, if it's not too much trouble, not too much work, because I don't want to put you out none, I'd like to change that 9.
I think we can work something out there. We'll change that 9. Next card off the top of the deck. The 9 becomes a deuce.
Now we're talking. Let's go higher.
Higher than the deuce.
I think
An
he's got it.
ace!
Oh, he's got it.
For game one of the match, $500 lower than the ace.
He's
It's a
got
7,
it.
he's got it.
Finally!
Good job, man.
Nicely done, Kevin. Game one of you, $500, push you up to an even $20,000 in cash you've won so far here. Cedric's going to try to play catch-up. We'll see how we do as we clear the board and get started with game number 2. The next card's off the top of the deck here. There we go, and we're going to start off this round here with a question to Cedric. Cedric, we asked 100 male business executives on this one. If the most qualified applicant for a job came in 30 minutes late, would you hire him anyway? How many of 100 male business executives said yes, they would hire an applicant, the most qualified applicant for their job, even if they came in 30 minutes late?
Well, I'll say it like this. If the most qualified applicant you got was 30 minutes late, now if it was like a traffic jam and all that, I would accept that. But if it was like just deliberately late, I wouldn't do it because, again, it's like you got to admire to like a certain work ethic. If you're going to be late for work, it's going to diminish your value. So unless they were really desperate, yeah. But I'm going to say 35.
I'm going to say 35 out of 100 said they would still hire them anyway. Kevin, higher or lower than 35?
Just so I'm hearing this right, the executive would hire if he was late to his interview.
Correct. Yeah, we asked 100 male business executives if the most qualified applicant for a job came in 30 minutes late, would you hire him anyway?
In this liberal 2020, higher.
I'm going to say higher than that, all right?
Yes.
Well, let's see. The actual number of male business executives who would hire the most qualified applicant for a job, even if they were 30 minutes late, is 42. It is just slightly higher.
Almost close. Good job. Good eye, Kevin. Good eye.
All right, Kevin, control the cards once again. We start you off this round with a king.
You know, I'm deserting all these breaks because of all of the previous 3 come from behind victories I've had. I'm due for a break. Let's go lower.
Going lower than the king. You have a 6.
Higher.
Higher than the 6. It's a 10.
Freeze.
Freeze in there. Okay, not going all the way, trying for the $1,000 bonus. Taking the 3-card lead over Cedric. And we go to question 2. This one goes to you, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
Kevin, we asked 100 people, would you fly on an airplane if the captain came aboard wearing a parachute? How many of 100 people said they would still get aboard that plane and fly?
Well, you've got to really be absolutely 100% no more letters, scared to death of flying, in order to not get on an airplane. I really don't think that's really going to make a whole lot of difference. So I'm sorry. May I hear the essence of the question one more time?
Sure. We asked 100 people, would you fly on an airplane if the captain came aboard wearing a parachute? How many of them said yes?
I will go with a high number on that one and say 67.
67 out of 100 said they would still get aboard that plane and fly. Cedric, higher or lower than 67?
I'll say lower, just for the off chance they were scared that I think like if the plane might crash and the captain's going to get out first. So I'll say lower.
It's possible. We'll see what happens. The actual number of people who would fly on an airplane if the captain came aboard wearing a parachute is 22. It is lower.
Yep.
First time I missed that one. Gee whiz.
Yeah, way off on that one. I'm surprised.
It happens. It happens.
Mind you, I've never been on an airplane, but if I see the captain coming on with a parachute, I'm like, something's going horribly wrong at this point. But that's just,
screw this flight. I'm going home.
It's like, I'll wait for the next one. Let's see what happens here. Cedric, we start you off with your base card in this game, a 9.
Ugh, change that.
Changing that 9. All right, change that 9 with the next card off the top of the deck. That 9 now becomes a deuce.
I can rock with it. Higher.
Higher than the deuce. That's a queen.
Lower.
Going on, lower than the queen. It's a deuce.
Higher.
Higher than the queen.
It's
a 5.
For the game and for the sudden death. higher for the game,
To tie
please.
it up, higher than a 5. Oh, no, it's a 5. He loses
Oh, the pain.
all
Oh, the
5
pain.
cards. All goes back to the base card there. Kevin, we go to you now. You have that 10.
Oh, that
Ooh.
pain. Oh, that
Daddy
pain.
like. All right. I get a free guess, so I'm going to gamble. Let's go higher.
Going against the odds here. Higher than the 10. No,
Oh,
it's
it
not a
doesn't
10.
matter.
It wouldn't matter.
Stuck there as
Same
you
thing
lose
as
that
me.
base card there. And we'll continue on. We'll go to question number 3. This one goes to Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin guessed
apologize.
last question.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I had the wrong one. This one goes to Cedric instead.
There we go.
All right, Cedric, this question's for you. All right, Cedric, we asked 100 married women, are you married to a cheapskate? How many women said yes, they are married to a cheapskate?
Well, it all depends on that person, like, not having a good job, and I would know a cheapskate if they're actually using a dishwasher to cook lasagna. That's a cheapskate right there.
I want to know how you managed to cook a lasagna with a dishwasher. That's mildly impressive, actually.
Check out Extreme Cheapskates, you will know how.
Fair enough.
And the way this has kind of been going, I would say roughly 55 out of 100.
55
Married
out
to a
of
cheapskate.
100 women say they are married to a cheapskate. Kevin, higher or lower than 55?
I could write a book on this one, but I won't. Well, I might write a book about it if I can make some real serious, legitimate money doing so. I mean, I was first married to the biggest cheapskate you ever met.
Ooh.
And then the second one,
Oh,
well, she didn't like the fact that I was a cheapskate, so can't win for trying. Can't win for losing, can't win for winning. I'm going to go lower.
I'm going to say lower than that.
Yeah, gold diggers.
We'll see. The actual number of married women who said they are married to a cheapskate is 26. It is lower.
Oh, I was way off that one.
Well, see, you haven't been married. I have.
See, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah,
All right.
more of the knowledge.
True.
I know my wife.
All right, Kevin, you're in control. You've got that 10.
I would like to change it. I'm not going to be that bold again.
All right, changing the 10 this time, hoping for a better card. This time you now have a 6.
A little
Yeah, slightly
better, I
better.
reckon. Let's go higher.
And higher than the 6. It's a 9.
Freeze again, please.
Raising again there, needing just one card to win the game and the match here. And we go to our 4th and final question of the round. Someone must win on this play of the cards. The question this time goes to Kevin. Kevin, we asked 100 single women, if the man of your dreams proposed but said, you weren't my first choice, would you marry him anyway? How many of 100 single women said they would marry him anyway?
That is so vague because a lot of it depends on how desperate the said single woman is. Some of them would say yes anyway. How many would accept the proposal anyway after having been told this information is what you're asking me.
Right.
Okay. I think a good number of them actually would go for it anyways. I will go with 55, double 5, nickels.
All right, 55 out of 100 said they would. Cedric, higher or lower than 55?
Well, if the woman is desperate enough, they go for it, but I don't know if they're that desperate. A little lower, a little lower.
A little lower than that. For all important control of the cards in here, the actual number of single women who would marry the man of their dreams, even if they said they weren't their first choice, is 54. It is barely lower.
Well, it was bound to happen.
I got the logic, but he got the steal. Unbelievable.
About 1 point.
1 point is all it took. All right, Cedric, a tough spot for you to be in here. You've got a great card, but you need 4 cards in order to win the game and tie up the match. However, Kevin has a middle of the road card. He only needs one card to play. So the option is yours. Do you want to play it or you want to pass it to Kevin?
Despite a good base card, I got to go through 4, and 9 times out of 10, I could have the same outcome as last go round when I tried to run the table. So the only best option, Kevin, I pass control of you. That's the only option I got. I can't go through 4.
Kevin, it goes to you. You have the 9. You cannot change it. You must call this card correct. If you do, you win the game and the match, and you're going back to the money cards. If you miss it, Cedric ties it up.
You see, good thing for me. Excuse me. Good thing for me, counting cards is not illegal here, as opposed to blackjack. And with that said, I've got to try it and go higher.
Going against the odds to try
please, almighty card gods.
Game of the match higher than a 9. No,
Yes!
it's a 3, and Cedric ties it up.
Woo! That's the only option.
All right, it is all tied up. A game apiece, $500. That means we're going to go to sudden death. We're going to pause at the cause, take a commercial break, come back and see who's going to get a shot at the money cards. We'll do that right after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Card Shark Series. All tied up again. One game apiece. Comes down to sudden death. Once again, 3 cards, only one question. Decide who's going on to the money cards. And as always, the question goes to our champion, Kevin. Kevin, we asked 100 married men, do you enjoy making your wife jealous? How many of 100 married men said they do enjoy making their wife jealous?
50.
Cedric, higher or lower than 50?
Making their wife jealous. I mean, if they just want to tease around, I'd say higher. Just for the heck of it, I'll say higher.
I'm going to say higher than that. All right, the actual number of married men who said they do enjoy making their wife jealous is 39. It is not higher.
I can see why you're single, Sarge.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Should have went lower. Oh, well.
Kevin, is over to you, sir. You have control of the cards. I'm going to show you each your base card, and then you decide if you want to play it or you want to pass. We'll start, of course, by showing you your opponent's card. Cedric's base card is a 4. Your base card is a queen.
Ooh.
Option is yours.
I'm going to go for it, yeah.
Okay, you're going to play? All right, you want to change the queen?
No.
Okay. Call both cards correct. You remain as champion. You missed one mistake. Cedric becomes our new champion.
There's no way. He's got a queen.
Again. Lower.
Lower than the queen. It's a 5.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Higher.
For the game and the match to remain as champion. Higher than a 5. No, it's a 4, and Cedric is our new champion.
Oh my God! Yo!
Congratulations, Cedric. $1,000 for you. You're gonna play the money cards in just a minute, Kevin. You've been a hell of a run on the show, sir. You're not leaving here empty-handed by no means. You take with you $20,000 in cash, and our thanks for playing.
Been a blast, you know that.
All right, well done. We hope to have you back later this season. But for now, Cedric, let's see if you can add another $32,000 to your winnings as we play the money cards. Come on over.
And actually, I thought Kevin had it. He had the good card. He was cruising, then.
You got lucky.
I'll say that. I can't. Nothing else.
All right, just about out of time for this episode here, so we're going to go ahead and jump straight into the money cards. Cedric, just a reminder in case so you know how to play. We start you off with $200 in the bottom row, work your way across those 3 cards, betting higher or lower, minimum bet of $50 till you get the second row, give you an additional $400 and 3 more cards. Then once you get to the top of the board is the big bet. You must bet at least half your winnings, and you can change 1 card on each level with one of the 3 cards on the side of the board. So if you're ready, best of luck. Here come the cards, and here comes a fresh $200 of betting money. And we'll get you started off with your base card here of a 9.
Change it with number 2.
Change it with card number 2. That 9 now becomes a 3.
All in higher.
Betting it all, $200. Higher than the 3. It's an 8 up the middle.
The snowman.
$400, and yes, and that dirty snowman.
$100 higher.
$100 higher than the 8. It's a king. 500 and a king.
All in lower.
No, trying to get some big money here. Lower than the king. It's a 3. Very good. $1,000 with that 3. We'll move that up to the next row, give you another $400 of betting money. You have $1,400 and a great card.
$700 higher.
Bet in half here. Maybe he feels like there's a 2 coming. We'll see. $700 higher than the 3. It's a 5. 2,100
right.
and a 5.
$600 higher.
Okay, going 600. Higher than a 5. Nope, it's another 5. It's a push. No win, no loss there. Still have a 5 and 2,100.
Let's change it with number 3.
Change it with card number 3. Let's see if he finds a good card here. That 5 is now a 2. Great card.
All in higher.
All right, go on, trying to double up here. $2,100 higher than a 2.
Be an
An
ace.
ace. $4,200. We move that ace up to the big bet, sir. I should say you only have to bet at least $2,100, but I feel you're going to be betting a little bit more than that here.
The only worst thing that could happen is a push. All in lower.
Yeah, you're not going home with anything less than that, but let's see if we can double up. For $8,400, we need this to be lower than an ace. It's a 3. He's got it.
Let's
Well
go.
done. $8,400 here on the money card. Added to the 1,000 in your upfront game, sir. You have a grand total of $9,400. Well done.
Yes, indeed. Let's go.
And you are a new champion. You're going to be back with us on our next show. Try to earn some more winnings. But folks, that's it for us on this episode of Card Sharks. We thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you like the series and want to see more Card Sharks, check out the first season on playlist. And if you want to see the other great game shows we've done here, past, present, or in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell. That way you never miss out on all the fun and games going down here at MVG Productions. And until the cards are dealt out once again and we try to give away some more money, I'm your host, Brandon Scruggs, saying thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here for another new episode of Card Sharks. Take care. Bye for now, folks. This is your announcer, Michael Gentry, speaking for Card Sharks, an MVG Productions presentation.